indivisible. As you all probably know, there's plenty of these groups all over this country and here in Montgomery County. And we sprung up with our leader, Catherine Lowry. Unfortunately, she's unable to attend. She has an illness, and it's killing her. She can't be here because she put a hell of a lot of work into this. And I want to say the other committee members are Bruce Cohen, Pam Stuckey. Pam, raise your hand wherever you are, back there. Victor Turoni, I think he's with the cars, and Yuling Han. And I hope I didn't forget anybody. If not, I'm going to move on. We started this Capitol View Democracy Crew because of the unfortunate occurrence, the event in November of last year. We are happen to be in, those of you who don't know, you're in District 18, Legislative District 18, Congressional District 8, and Precinct 1358. I am the vice chair, and Sylvia Tognetti, raise your hand, Sylvia. She is the chair. We wanted to have this opportunity, we thought about this several months ago, to have the candidates for the county council at large forum. Those candidates who have filed, 14 have filed, 12 individuals agreed to be here today. The 13th said he was out of town. The 14th, I never got a response. But we got a great response here today. 12 candidates for you all to hear from. The format is we have them in order. They randomly chose the number out of a bowl. And from 1 to 12, they're going to speak for 3 minutes. We have a timer. Timers, raise your hands right over here. The orange, we couldn't find yellow or red. So we found an orange for 30 seconds, and the pink is stop. And when I see that pink, I will just gently come up, and I'll say thank you very much, and we'll move on. Without further ado, I want to introduce Bruce Cohen. This is his home. I will give a round of applause.
Thank you, Tom. Just a couple of words of housekeeping, literally. There's restrooms in the house on the first floor. There's one on the north end. You can go in through the kitchen or you can go in the front door. Likewise, there's a restroom upstairs, and feel free to use that. If the door is closed, it means someone's in there, and if you've concluded and leaving the restroom, please leave the door open. I haven't figured out a way to put a lock on it without harming the profile of the molding around. The house was built, I might say a few words, Tom. The house was built in 1907 and owned by Esther and Ollie Peterson. Esther gave us unit pricing, so when you go to Giant, you go to Safeway, that concept of unit pricing, so many cents per ounce, that's Esther's idea. And the other thing, the other claim to fame is my father is the father of Medicare, and you can go in the house and see some of the memorabilia associated with Medicare. I will be operating the switchboard of the mixer as well, so if all else fails, I'm going to bring down the mic.
I need to add one other thing. There are 4 at-large seats on the county council. 3 were unable or term limited, and so they're not running. There is an incumbent, Hans Reamer, who is standing right over here. And unfortunately, we did not know that you were coming. We did not get word that you were coming, unfortunately, but you will be number 14th on this diocese. So we will have 14 speakers. Did I say 13? I'm sorry. I skipped 13 for a reason. We're going to have 13 speakers, and everybody gets 3 minutes. It will be timed. And with that, let's have the first one. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay, Marilyn Balcom, you're up.
Hi, everyone. This is so exciting. This is our first event, and I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Tom. It's been great. So when we talk about Montgomery County, we have a wonderful county. We have a shared set of democratic values. We believe strongly in education. We protect our environment. we protect our vulnerable populations, we celebrate our diversity, and we protect our immigrant populations. We're known as one of the wealthiest counties in the nation, but not everybody participates in that quality of life. Montgomery County is at a crossroads. We're more than 1 million people, and we continue to grow. And our demands outstrip our resources every day. And so we need to face that head on. While a lot of people in the county have a high median income, the significant disparity in wealth continues to grow. And we need to reach that head on. We need to go head on. We need to look at poverty, and we need to look at inequity in the county, and we need to do something about it. Two things that I'm looking at right now is education and our economic development, a robust economy. We need to look at education from the perspective of closing the achievement gap. The achievement gap doesn't start in middle school, doesn't start in high school. We need to look at early childhood education. We need to make sure that every child in Montgomery County has a chance of success from the day they enter kindergarten. We need to do something about that. We need to do something also on the other end from skills-based training. We're so fabulous in terms of college readiness. We need to look more at career readiness. We need to make sure that our students, all of our students, are ready for the jobs of today and the jobs of tomorrow. And not just in 1 or 2 high schools in the county. We need to provide skills-based training and education in all the high schools in the county. In terms of economic development, there's only 3 ways to balance the budget. And I've already said that our needs outstrip our resources. We can raise taxes, we can cut existing spending, or we can increase the economic base. And I think that's where we need to focus. We need to bring more jobs into our community. We need to bring high-paying jobs. We need to protect the jobs that we have in the county. And we need to work with our entrepreneurs and small businesses to grow and expand jobs in the county. 2018 is a landmark election. We are voting for half of the elected officials in Montgomery County, and I guarantee you that I will work every single day to move this county forward. I have the knowledge, skill, and the vision to do so, and I hope you feel the same. Thank you.
Next is Brandy Brooks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excellent, I like that. Good responsiveness. My name is Brandy Brooks, and I am running for County Council at large. We are facing a critical moment in our democracy right now. For decades, many Americans have felt that the restructuring of our politics and our economy to serve primarily the 1% in this country, across the country, has left them without a voice, without representation in their government. They have come to feel that they have no power and no ability to have the people who are supposed to represent them and to make decisions on their behalf actually listen to their needs. And so they have disengaged, and people's faith and level of interest and willingness to delve in to politics and government is at an all-time low. However, we're at this moment of opportunity because the 2016 presidential election shocked enough people to say that I want to move past that sense of hopelessness and powerlessness, and I want to figure out how I engage again. I want to figure out what I can do to stop this tidal wave that is rushing over the communities I care about and bringing with it tremendous damage. And the question for us, as those who call ourselves democratic, liberal, progressive, is what we are going to offer in this moment. If we simply offer the status quo, the same systems, the same assumptions that we were offering before the 2016 elections, we will lose. And we might lose this country for a generation. We must understand that. And what that means is that we have to question our own conventional wisdom, about what it means for people to be involved in politics. I'm running as a publicly financed candidate in Montgomery County because I'm very excited about the Public Election Fund. Yes, it makes it easier to fundraise for me. But what is most important about that is that it starts to structurally change our assumptions about who can participate in our politics, about whose money and whose voices matter. There are people we are leaving out. There are young people, there are people of color, there are immigrant communities, there are women that we are leaving out. And if we want to see a world that matches our values, then who we choose to be and how we choose to approach this moment must reflect and embody those very same values. I'm running because I do want to be the first African American woman on the county council at large, because I think it is time for our council and the things that it does to reflect our values. Thank you.
Next up, Chris Wilhelm.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good to see everyone. Does this come off? Or is it a tie? Or raise it up. Thanks, Bruce. Good afternoon. It's great to see everybody today. My name is Chris Wilhelm. I went to preschool, elementary school, high school, undergrad, and graduate school, and now I teach all on University Boulevard, a product of Montgomery County Public Schools, and I now teach English as a second language at Northwood High School in Silver Spring. Before I became a teacher, I worked for an organization called Impact Silver Spring, where we were working to connect the immigrant community in Silver Spring to county resources. And I've also worked for progressive champions from Montgomery County like Jamie Raskin and David Moon before I found my way into education. Tom asked us in his email about the specifics for this event to mention two priorities that we want to work on if we were fortunate enough to be elected to the council. So the first priority for me is one that I think is a priority for the country, and it's very acute here at the local level, which is economic inequality. And that shows up here at the local level, and I see it every day in the lives of my students. They are mostly recent immigrants in the last few years to this country, and their families are almost uniformly at the bottom of the economic spectrum here in the county. And it has an immense impact on their quality of life. My students are working 30 to 40 hours a week after school and on the weekends. They're not building up AP credits. We're drilling into them that they have to graduate high school, you have to go to college, and then they work hard, they make it, they learn the language, they graduate, and the first thing they see is a $5,000 bill for a full year of community college here in Montgomery County, which for some families sounds like a bargain. For the students that I work with, it is a massive barrier to the next step in their education. So there are Democratic candidates for governor talking about doing what other states have done around the country, which is making community college tuition free. I think that that would be difficult to do at the county level because the county is already funding 50% of Montgomery College operating budget. So, Montgomery County could have a sliding scale. We could make community college more open to students who are willing to work hard and get there. There's also a lot of measures that the current council is considering on economic inequality. The minimum wage is a great start. Councilmember Tom Hucker is going to bring up a universal pre-K legislation that I think would be really important. The second big issue for me is sustainability. Quite frankly, our way of life is not sustainable. And I think too often we assume in Montgomery County that because we're a universally Democratic county, there is not a Republican office holder, that we're always doing the best and brightest on every issue. And quite frankly, there are jurisdictions around the country that are ahead of us on sustainability. The current council took a big step and passed a solid waste strategic plan that's going to come up soon. We need to make sure that that plan is tough and that it's changing our way of life so that our way of life is sustainable. Thank you.
I'm a little shorter than that. Loretta Garcia is next.
I can probably do this. I think I can do this. Can you hear me? No? You know, it's...
Now back up a little bit.
All right.
How about that?
That's okay. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Loretta Garcia. I'm a candidate for Montgomery County Council at large. I'm going to hold the mic because it's wavering. I am a lawyer. I got a law degree at Georgetown University and a master's degree at Georgetown in what they call foreign service, which is international affairs in other schools. And I am trained as a mediator and also experienced as a mediator. In my day job, I am the enforcement manager in the Montgomery County Government's Office of Human Rights. I do anti-discrimination work, which is increasing, as you might imagine. We have over 1 million people, and people think, oh, now we're half minorities, we don't need human rights anymore, but we do. We have plenty of cases. About 85% of what we do is employment. We also do housing discrimination and discrimination by businesses, and hate crimes is also under our statute. So I've had my hands full for 8 years, and in the last campaign and election, as you've probably read, the hate crimes have been escalating. In Maryland, we have 8 recognized hate groups, and in Montgomery County, we have 2. So don't think it just happens elsewhere. It happens here as well. I also raised a family here in Montgomery County, and they both graduated from Montgomery County Public Schools. And one is in college, one just graduated from college. And we were asked to call out 2 issues that are important to us. Really, it's difficult to do that because the agenda will set itself in some respect. And it's not my agenda that matters, it's your agenda. It's all the issues that are important to us in the county. I think of the 2 that I would think most of are development and transportation. Development is not just building buildings. We have to consider a lot of other things, which are the infrastructure and environmental impact. And I think sometimes we don't do enough considering those elements when we approve development projects. I think it's important, of course, to develop. We do have an increasing population. With growth comes development. Change is always a good thing, I think, and it has been in the county. But when we build new developments or raise a shopping center and rebuild, we don't always have the infrastructure there, and we don't always think about the environmental impacts of it. So I'm running for one of the 4 positions on County Council, and I hope you'll consider me Loretta Garcia.
Next is Gabe Albernoz.
Thank you, Tom. Hello, good people. How are we doing today? It's such a pleasure on this spectacular day here in Montgomery County to be here this afternoon with all of you. My name is Gabe Albernoz, and it is an honor and privilege to be sharing the stage with these incredible, dynamic, and wonderful and talented people, and with all of you. So, not long after the results were announced in the November election, there was a sense of frustration and anger and confusion here in Montgomery County and across the entire country. Thank you, Bruce. And Bruce, this is a spectacular backyard, by the way. So, County Executive Leggett felt that anxiety. He felt the concern and the tension that it was in the community, and so he assigned senior level cabinet officials to do something about it. And so we produced an event called the Montgomery Way to reaffirm the values that we all hold so dear here in Montgomery County. And 1,000 people got together on a cold day in Veterans Plaza to hear messages of love, tolerance, and peace from elected officials, public officials, faith leaders, civic activists, and students. It was a gorgeous day, and it affirmed everything I love about this county. The Montgomery Way is about promoting inclusion and diversity. It ensures that all of our kids get a world-class education regardless of what zip code they live in. It ensures economic vitality for all, and it ensures civil discourse across our region and across our county. And those are being challenged today. And that is among the many reasons why I have decided to run for the county council. I was born and raised here in Montgomery County. I was born in Holy Cross Hospital. My parents immigrated here from South America, and I consider it a blessing to have grown up here and now have the opportunity to raise my 4 young children here close by in Kensington. I've lived in Gaithersburg, Silver Spring, and Bethesda, and for the last 10 years, I've worked in the Leggett administration as the director of the Department of Recreation, where we've tackled a variety of important issues, which have included closing the achievement gap and the opportunity gap among our students, ensuring that our seniors have vital living opportunities and a high quality of life across the entire county. We've built 11 recreation centers or renovated 11 recreation centers and pools in the last 10 years, and I'm proud of the accomplishments that we've been able to move forward. I've chaired the Democratic Party here in Montgomery County, and I'm well aware of the incredible civic activism that exists in our county. We have challenges ahead, but I'm confident that we can overcome those challenges through collaboration and partnership among the various sectors and communities which I've dedicated my entire professional career to. I love living here, I love this community, and I want to ensure that we continue the Montgomery Way for many generations to come. Thank you all very much.
Next is Evan Glass, who's unable to stay after his speaking, but Evan Glass is next.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Evan Glass. I'm running for County Council at large. My husband and I live not too far away. Thank you. My husband and I live not too far away in Silver Spring with our 2 rescue beagles. But this house, as others have said, is awesome. And Bruce, I just want to thank you for having this, because last time I was here was for an event to save 10 Mile Creek. And that is one of the issues that has gotten me into running for county council. It's one of the things that has gotten me involved in activism here in Montgomery County, protecting our environment. You want to tighten this? It's falling.
Turn it upside down and then gravity will work for us.
Great, thank you. And so it is one of the reasons why I became a founding board member of an organization called Conservation Montgomery. Because when I was living in downtown Silver Spring, I saw all the buildings that are popping up all around us. And the same is true in Bethesda, Rockville, other parts of the county. And the developers weren't really building enough green space. And here you have thousands of people who are living in our downtown walkable, livable communities, but they too need some green space, not only for the environment, but for their own sanity. And so when I was chair of the Silver Spring Citizens Advisory Board, I started pushing some proposals to make sure that our developers were building adequate green space. And I think the council is in the right direction moving forward and enacting some of those ideas, but we can do better. And also, there's another issue of development in terms of not building enough affordable housing. When I was living in downtown Silver Spring, there were some buildings that were, one building in particular that was being built, and it was being turned into an affordable housing complex. And I was president of the neighborhood association, and neighbors were coming to me concerned about this building and about what would happen if it became affordable housing. And I didn't know a whole lot about it, but at that point in my life, I was a producer at CNN. I was a CNN journalist where I worked for 12 years, and I did what I did best. I reported. I researched. And what I learned was that we don't have enough affordable housing here in the county, and we need to do better. And when I explained to my neighbors that the residents of this building were earning $30,000 to $60,000 a year on average, I thought they too deserved to live in our neighborhood, and that they deserved to walk to the metro and take public transportation and walk to the Giant. And much like the fight for marriage equality, I appealed to their hearts and mind, my neighbors, that is. And when the building came online, there were no complaints because we had a communal conversation. And I think that's sometimes what's missing here in Montgomery County. There's a lot of progressive things that we want to do, but we need everybody to sit at the table. And as a community leader, that's something that I've done. And hopefully with your support, it's something I'll continue to do on the county council. So thank you all very much.